Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, Cardiff City World fans. I'm your host, Evan James. Half my forehead has been cut off as I speak. I am very sorry. I'm low budget Evan today. I've just bought a new gaming PC, and I thought it would only take me an hour or less to set up everything. Turns out no one could see me. So, low budget Evan returns for time being. And it's nice to see a co-host again I haven't seen in a while, which is Mr. Reese David Evans. How are we today?
Not bad. As you see him in the Spurs Stadium, just checking out next season's away grounds ready.
Yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be some big stadiums, mind you. You know the Hammers. West Ham, Spurs. I'm not sure how big Nottingham Forest's ground is. Or no, it's probably Wolves, really, isn't it?
Wolves are down, Burnley are gone, and I think it'll be Spurs.
Burnley, yeah. Oh, so it's really going to be one of the
Hopefully Spurs, anyway.
So it's going to be one big stadium at least.
And Millwall go up, I hope, to be fair.
I do like Millwall, to be fair, so I always say like that. So I did have a slightly different prepared thing towards the end, but we'll leave that for another time. I'm sure it'll be great. It was literally going to be a game show basically called Medine or No Medine, resembling Deal or No Deal, but we'll save that one for another time. I also had Is It Kanga or Is It a Banger? And I'll have to say that one for another day as well. But all good game shows to come. Maybe I'll leave some to the member shows if it gets less PG. Anyway, let's talk about today's game. So a 4-0 comfortable win, would you say?
Yeah, dominant win. I think the biggest thing to say, right, is both Dun and Lincoln kicked off 12:30, and the talk is we lost to Lincoln, we drew to Barnsley. Is the pressure on? And when you see Bolton come from 2 behind again, say pick a point up, Lincoln win again, all talk and all eyes are going to go straight on Cardiff, and it's going to be, are they going to slip up? Is the pressure getting to them? And the perfect way to answer it was a 4-0 win, and four great goals as well.
Yeah,
what a way to answer the critics like.
You can't say that Robertson wasn't one of the best goals of the season. I mean, it frustrates. Right, this is the thing. Right, I don't want to take anything away from today's game, but today's game really frustrated me because it's like we could have done that against Lincoln, we could have done that against other teams, but we didn't. And look, I understand, right, when you're playing like a back seven, then a midfield three, as Lincoln did for a lot of time. It's like, yeah, it's hard to penetrate through the defense, but Alex Robertson's shot, first of all, was outside of the box. And it was, it was a nice 1-2 with, was it Wintle? He sort of set up a little back heel. And look, we don't need a lot of flair in our team, but we have it. We have technical players. And, he's 100% meant that shot. He's placed it exactly where we wanted to. And we have players that can do this, right? I mean, we have a centre-back who's 19 years old who can run through an entire League One team, more or less, albeit it was poor defending. But the thing is, we have all these players with all this talent, and sometimes it's frustrating that we don't do it in really important games. However, turn that into a positive, like you did say. It's like it's a statement showing that we are to be taken seriously. Yeah, okay, we might have had a draw and a loss recently, but that 4-0 win is no mistake. That's a dominant performance, and it's how we should really play as well. And I think they had a few chances at Exeter, but would you say they were a really poor team, or we were just that much better, or a bit of both?
No, I don't think they're a poor team. I think, again, our quality showed through. Let's be honest. When you look at the lineup on paper as well, we should say you should, right? But it's hard, it's easier said than done. But the players we got, the lineup we got, you're thinking we should be putting his way. Our youngsters beat his 1-0 in the virtual trophy early on the season, I think it was. I thought it was a fair result, to be fair. I thought we just looked so much better. I was a bit worried at first. I think in Ruben and Kellerman, how are they going to play together? They don't seem to gel as well as others, maybe. And I thought it was unfair on Joe Well to get dropped for it.
Yeah, I think so.
Prove against a proper club that wouldn't really play much. I thought, But to be fair, Ruben came up and he answered his critics well. 2 massive goals. Brilliant play. Great looking play. I just think our quality came through in the end.
I did see... I dropped that a second. Oh, yeah, bye. I did see a comment on Instagram. I can't remember exactly what it said. I remember we put in the staff chat about saying just sort of not trolling the player, but kind of sort of like poking fun at people who say how Ruben Colwell's been terrible recently. And it's like, I don't think anybody's been terrible, at all this season. Really, there's been a couple of players that maybe think, okay, we need to take them out the firing line. But like, there's very few times I could say players have been awful this season. You could say they got a bit of a bad sort of like blip or whatever. But Ruben wasn't really playing that poorly before today anyway. It's just today he showed this is what you could, this is what you could be having. And he's putting in performances like these every few games. And, you think of Joel Bagan, who is like always seems to be having a decent game. Like he's not always having an amazing game, but you very rarely see him, massively slip up. But like Ruben's just one of those where you'll have a decent or an all right game almost every game minimum. But then every like 3 or 4 games, he'll remind everyone why he's first team. And that's what you need sometimes, is the moments things start to turn a little bit, you start to see, some of the fan base, get on players' backs, which I don't think singling out certain players is necessary, especially at this stage. But it's like you can see how quick some fans are to turn, and they're almost looking for something to pin the blame on. And then you have a 4-0 win like that, and it shuts them up again. And, you know what I mean? Like, I know our fan base is a little bit divided, but I think maybe we're just not used to having maybe this level of consistency. And, I suppose any kind of slip-up makes us look worse than what we are. And I should agree with that.
I think the problem with Ruben is people judge him on stats, right? And, we would judge most players on stats. I seen a thing the other day where we were top of the table League One for biggest chances missed. I think we had out of, I think it was 69 goal scoring opportunities missed we had. You're thinking, how many of those would have been assists for Ruben if they went in? Like he can create 10 chances a game. If someone doesn't score and people come away going, he's got no assists, see?
Yeah.
It's a tough one because with that 10 position, it's usually a flair player. You're sort of judging them on the ability of others to score. Like he could release Tanner out wide, who gets the assist, but that doesn't come as a stat. Then it doesn't say the pass that led to the assist was Ruben, and that's something that goes against him. Then I also think it's a case of we know what he's capable of. We all know he's capable of tearing it up, and I think he's so young, right? It's hard to be so consistent. And as fans, we know what he can do. And I think it's the frustration of why can't he do it all the time? But that's the difficult thing with football, is being consistent. But again, you ask any club in the Championship, they'll all probably snap your hands off at Ruben Colwell.
Oh, yeah.
Lower League, Premier League clubs, they'll all snap your hands off a player like that. We should be grateful we've got something like that. I mean, you look at the last 10, 15 years, right? Have we had any flair players? Not really. It's all been direct runners. Maybe. Camarasa, yeah, but on loan though. I mean, apart from that, we struggle for flair players. Now we've got one. Let's just sit back and enjoy him while we can, because he will go off to bigger, better things. Let's be honest. But I just think the stats go against him sometimes because maybe others don't finish, or maybe the stats don't reflect on what he brings. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, you say. I think Camarasa, maybe Mendes Lang, he had quite a bit of flair, and he was just rapid as well. But like, you don't really need players having a flair. It's just like an added bonus to show. Like it's almost a bit of a show off, really. And like having a flair does not mean you're showing off all the time, but it's just showing how good they can be to perform the basics, but also make it look entertaining a lot better. And look, I know with like other sports like basketball, that's like a pure entertainment sport. Even as competitive, it's all made for entertainment. Whereas football, it is an entertaining game, but it's become very tactical based now. Like a lot of other sports have gone the same way. It's all like really over like analytical, and there's parts of that I do really like. I do like the sort of like the managing, like the sort of tactical side of it. But like with players like Ruben, I feel like you've just got to let him have a free roll in the way. Yes, obviously coach him and everything, and no one's uncoachable, or no one should be uncoachable. But it's like I feel like with him, it's kind of like when you kind of let him do his own thing, he tends to play a lot better than if he was to sort of like play in a certain disciplined role. I think having that free roam for certain players works really well. I think you can't really do that for everyone. Obviously, you can't just give everyone free roam role. We can't just give it to like Ryan Wintle, and then Ruben Colwell, and then your left back and right back. But I feel like last season especially, we didn't really know like players' proper positions. Where I feel like we do now. Like I know Alex Robertson now, he plays better as a number 6 or an 8 than he does as an attacking midfielder. Like I know Ruben isn't a striker, but he can do a job at number 9. I still think as a false 9, Kellyman's the best option, but I think they did sort of swap at one point and everything. And let's talk about the goals as well. I can't even remember what order they came in now, but there's 2 Ruben Cole goals first of all, hence why we're talking about them.
Then Robinson. Robinson. Then it was Robertson at the very end. Then.
Yeah, and I think it's nice to see Ruben get a header as well, because I think you were really expecting that. You think the likes of Salah could be there, but no Salah, and we still scoring headers, which I think Ruben's the only other guy you probably look at thinking scoring a header, then unless it's a corner kick for Will Fish or something, which obviously didn't get on.
But yeah, I said this. I think for Ruben to get 2 goals as well first half, I think that. I don't know if he was getting a lot of stick from the Exeter fans, because his celebration was just capping the ear winner twice. He kicked the ear to him, so I don't know if he was getting a little bit of stick from him. But again, it's a confidence thing as well, especially after coming back from such a long and a big injury, right? Most players go through a phase of they're anxious, they're nervous, It takes them a while, it takes the first big tackle to come in, and then to go, right, my legs are fine, I'm fine, I can do this. But he's slowly getting up to fitness. He's still not there yet, he's still not 100% yet, and he's doing this now.
Yeah.
And the same thing happened to Tanner. Tanner came back from a big injury. We see last year, he came back from injury, and he was nowhere near it. This year, he's come back. I've lost count of many assists and goals, goal participations he's been involved with the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But it's just, again, it's just working. And to be fair, it's the link-up play, it's the movement off the ball, it's the runners. I mean, it's good to see. I think Pep said years ago, the most basic thing in football is pass and move. And it's something we were saying last year. No, we get the ball, there's no movement for it, no one wants the ball, no one's looking to claim the ball, everyone's too scared of it. Now players are making runs off the ball to get in a position, to pick up pockets of space, to receive it. Once they do it, his other runners off it again. And when you have that, I think that allows players like Ruben to shine a bit more, because he's got more options and he's not trying to run of 30, 40 yards or 20 yards on his own to make something happen. He's got others doing some of that for him. So I just think all over the pitch, he's just so much better.
I think even like this sounds really mad, right? Even when we pass it on the back, I still think it looks more entertaining this season compared to last season, because like you said, there's player movement. There's people dropping deeper, and then you got your fullbacks overlapping, which again only O'Dowda really did that. I think last season you had Renamoto doing invert and everything, but it's like it just pass around the back, and I think for the Lincoln game, their game plan worked much better than what we probably thought. We probably thought that we could still break them down regardless. Maybe a little naivety from the manager there, but again, not everyone had their best performances regardless. But it shows that he does learn from it, and that's the thing with this manager. He's developing players, but he's also developing himself. He's learning on the job, and I think it's a great league to do it in League One, because you don't get punished for your mistakes as much. And I feel like if he was chucked straight into the Championship, he would have struggled a lot more. And people think because he's come through Man City that he should go straight into manager. I know he was assistant for Leicester, but I don't think he would have learned anywhere near as much as being kind of chucked in the deep end, but in a lower league. I think for me personally, I think that's probably one of the better decisions. And he's also got the squad. He's got the kind of squad that he wants now as well. And we're still a very small squad. And, we're dealing with a couple of injuries like Isaac Davis and Yusuf Salek still yet to come back. And we still managed to beat teams 4-0. Now, if you told me that before the season has started, I'd be kind of laughing my head off thinking, what you're saying we scored 4-0 without using Yusuf Salek or Callum Robinson? It's like, obviously you got the score sheet, but it would be baffling. But now we're sort of seeing it. It's kind of almost like a regular thing. So it's hard not to feel a bit privileged by it, but then also want more. But do you reckon, I'll come to the comments in just a second, so I want to say even to everyone. I don't know if you had anything to add on to that, but my follow-up question is, with Lincoln now, is there any chance they're going to slip up, or do you think they're solid right throughout the end now?
So first thing, I agree with you saying about BBM needed a year in League One with Cardiff. I think if we hired him say we survived last year somehow and we hired him, right, I don't think we got rid of all the players we get rid of. I think the club panic and keep a few too many of them just because they're unsure about having a young manager. They probably don't give him a number 2. They probably hire a number 2 for him. And they probably say you just need to win games. Don't worry about the fancy football. If he does lose 3 or 4 games, fans will probably mourn again, thinking we're back in the same position. Whereas this year, let's all be honest now, right? Start the season, we're all thinking, if we can get the playoffs with such a young squad, that's an achievement. And I think if he went and lost 3 or 4 games at the start of the season, everyone would have gone, plenty of time left to go. Still 44 games left to go. If we do win the championship, they'd have gone, it's the same as last year. So it's a different mindset in this league as well now. And the fact we started so well, and we really haven't had that a big blip. I think our form wasn't the best after the new year. We went on a win, draw, win, draw, win, draw. We couldn't find a back-to-back win. I think that's where we've stepped up. We picked up a few too many draws. But again, we were losing games, whereas previous years we would have lost them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think I agree that he needed the year with us in League One. And this allowed him also to dip into the academy to play some of the youngsters. I mean, we've seen Mafiko get winners for us start the season. Joe Baker's been the regular left back now. Joel Caldwell's broken the side, and he's probably one of the best players we've got right now. Ruben's looks better now with this brand of football. He's got more of Alex Robertson. Turnbull looks a different player to it under him than he did under previous managers. So I totally agree that he needed that. What was the second question? Sorry, as well.
With Lincoln,
Lincoln stepped up.
Yeah.
I won't be surprised. It's going to come a point where they're going to think this is in the bag now. It says,
yeah, they've won it.
Complacency will happen to every team. It doesn't matter how good you are. Barcelona suffer complacency. It will happen. Then the first loss becomes a thing then of shit. What if I happens again now? We've slipped up here now. Cardiff are on our coattails. We just got to keep winning, and I'll put pressure on them. I think they will slip up towards the end. It's hard to maintain this sort of momentum or form because you will get tired. I know it's easier to recover for games when you're winning, but I think they will slip up, and I think we can overtake them, but we got to keep our levels at 100, keep winning games. We got to go again Tuesday night now, and we win that game Tuesday night. We keep pressure on them.
Yeah, I mean, no one can accurately predict what's going to happen, but I doubt many people probably had Lincoln at the top of the table predicted or round about there. Maybe I think I had them about like 8th or something, like getting close to playoffs. But really, it's so hard to say. Like, I mean, you had Stevenage up there for ages. They dropped off, and now they just come back. Bradford were up there for ages, and they looked unbeatable for a long time. They kind of say slipped up because they're still massively exceeding expectations. I think everyone probably expected Bolton to be where they were, about 3rd, but they didn't have the greatest start of the season, I don't think. Luton, obviously another one there, Huddersfield, Stockport. I mean, there's all these teams that people expect to be up there, but then you realise there's only 2 automatic places available, and the 2 teams that are currently there are probably teams that most people wouldn't have probably selected for the top 2. Most teams would probably put it Cardiff to get like mid-table or playoffs or something, and I mean, Plymouth are 10th right now, Luton are 11th, so it's like, I know obviously as Cardiff fans we're going to back ourselves, and why not, but once Brian Murphy got announced for the team, even that, I just instantly knew it's going to be an exciting season. Whether or not we would have gone up, I thought, well, we're not guaranteed playoffs, but I think we got, a really good chance now, and the fact is that we haven't, again, I keep going over this, we barely signed anyone, we barely signed anyone on permanent. And there's loans to buy and everything. But I even look now and I would love to sign, I know we're not going to get Kellyman back. It's just whatever. And I'd love to sign Trott on a permanent. But we look at some players now, and like even recently Trotter's, we've seen some of his, maybe faults or whatever. And like, I think we're all human is what we're going to say, but it's always a bounce back no matter what. After we never had 3 back-to-back like losses in a row or like really bad performances. There's always been a change. When we had that Port Vale game, the second game of the season, we basically reverted back to how we were last season. But that was the point. I thought, oh, here we go again. We're going to really struggle in League One now. But we haven't put many back-to-back bad performances in, if you understand. Like it's which is encouraging to see. So we are learning from it. I want to go quickly to the comments just to say hi to everyone, because I do apologise we were slightly late. Again, trying to sort out a new go from Apple to Windows is no easy task. But JT says Tottenham away, ole ole, getting ahead of the curve there.
I'm there right now, but
hey JT, that's a very positive comment from you. That is, if I do say so myself. The Blues are going after Sewell. Maybe I just let the anticipation build. Yeah, 2 minutes. 6 minutes later. Paul, as always, in the chat. Lovely to see you again. 3 points, 4-0. We're in safe hands. Some great goals today and decent performances. Can't ask for more. Even the lads hope you're well. We are. Hope you're well, Paul. I mean, yeah. I think we're in safe hands. I think. Well, we're guaranteed playoffs at least now, aren't we? We have to be well. I don't know if we are. No, we're not. I think. Well, we'd have to lose pretty much every game now, and other teams have to win all their games if that was the case. So I won't say guaranteed, but we've solidified the playoffs, I like to think. Worst case scenario. Apparently Warnock resigning after 2 games at his new club. Where's that to? Does anyone know?
Torquay. He was.
Is it Torquay?
His sporting director or he was sporting director.
I thought he was
Advising
Millwall slipped up today. He could have gone second. Graham, evening. I thought we looked nervous till last second, then dominant. Yeah, I think when the 1-0 sort of lead is a very vulnerable position to lead. And at that time, I was thinking when we went 1-0 up with Cole, I was thinking, right, here we go. When are we going to concede? And that's just hardwired into me. I'm not sure if you get the same thing or if anyone in the comments does. But as soon as we take a lead, I just think, when are we going to throw it away? Do you get that?
Oh, mate, we could be 4-0 up, right? 90th minute of the clock, and I'm still thinking, we could make a Cardiff fan, like, you know what I mean? I suggest be 4-0 up against Peterborough and draw 4-4. So, it's never easy to be a Cardiff fan, so I'm always expecting the worst. But yeah.
Yeah.
They probably get nervy simply because the team is going to come at them for a bit now, and they have to soak up pressure for the next 5 minutes and then settle down and go again. And unfortunately, at Barnsley, that's where they scored, and that's where they grew into the game.
Yeah, it's another thing of getting a bit too comfortable before we really have actually won the game. I think 4-0 is like even then you can't really say because obviously the Peterborough game, but 4-0 is kind of thing like, you've taken all this thing out of the other team then. It doesn't matter what the other team, how motivated they might be to get back. You've got control over the game. And as soon as they score 1 goal, then you turn the gas back on then because you still have a 3-goal advantage. But it's, 4-0, that's completely killed off the game, even against a good team, Look, I'm saying if we would have fallen up against Chelsea the first half in the Cup, they wouldn't have come back. The chances are they would have with a few offside goals. But, I tell you what, I'm not saying to be like, I'm being really greedy, but I do look at the scores now and see that we're winning by more than 1 goal. Because last season, I can't remember many times, apart from Plymouth, where we won by more than 1 or 2 goals.
Swansea, 1-3-0.
Swansea, yeah, and look, I think the atmosphere there and the crowd, they really did play a massive part. I think it's a very emotionally motivated game. But the thing is, though, we had the Sol Bamba tribute as well, and I just to that one, it didn't look like many of the players cared or whatever, or not. Maybe it's not the players, maybe it was the game plan. There wasn't just it just didn't seem there was enough respect for it, but. It seems like now, where even games who are not selling out the stadium, which we really do, we're still pulling results together, and I know it's great, right? Because the fan base adds a lot, but it's nice that we're not just relying on just fans getting behind the boys. There's actually there's reasons to get behind. You can feel confident now when Cardiff play a team that it's it's not just going to be paint drying football for 90 minutes every single game. I want to come to this comment quick though. Bob Banks says, "Bloody useless Tanner and another assist." Oh, God.
Another thing as well is now is this never die attitude. They keep going for 90 minutes. They keep trying to get the next goal. They're constantly trying to keep going. I mean, apart from Norwich and Ipswich under the last managers, I think Ipswich was 2-1. 95th and 90 plus 10 minute 2 goals for us, and Norwich was 97th minute winner. We never really seem to do much late in the game. Now if we're 90th minute of the clock, we're still pushing teams. We're still trying to get another goal. I mean, Robo was unlucky not to get a few goals. I think it's Barnsley, and was it Stevenage before that or Luton before that? He was unlucky not to get a couple of goals there, but. They're constantly going, they keep going, yeah. And that's something we haven't seen for a while, is this determination and this put them to the sword mentality now as well. Everyone wants to get in on the goals. And that's something we haven't seen for a while.
Like you said before, it creates the momentum, doesn't it? You can have negative or positive momentum. I think, when you go down, especially think of Luton, prime example, going from League One, the Championship to Premier League, the Championship to League One, and it's like that's positive momentum all the way up, and then it's just complete crash and burn all the way down, getting relegated back to back. And look, the main thing is we didn't want that, first of all, but the second thing was, I know we can all want to be greedy and everything, but staying in League One for a season might seem all right. Oh, let's just have a rebuild. But there's many teams that had that mentality. Wigan, Barnsley, Bolton. These are teams that said, "Oh, we'll go down, we'll rebuild." And obviously, you want to have a positive statement when you get relegated because you're already down the dumps. But this doesn't feel like this feels like the rebuild season now, where we're going back up and we're using a lot of our youth players. And it makes me think that if this is like a rebuilding season, what's it going to be like next year when we actually have momentum to push on from? Like let's just say that we do get promoted to the Championship. I think, look, honestly, I think we deserve to get the title, regardless of like the little sort of moments where you think, oh, I don't know, there's other teams that might be better. But if I'm being honest, right, Lincoln have got a squad that they built on for a while now. I'm not sure how long Scubala's been in charge, but they've got, we have got some more senior players, but most of our squad is like more or less kids or very young adults who haven't got the experience that like a 28, 29-year-old's roughed up centre back, putting in Brexit tackles has got. We haven't got many of those players. We've got 19-year-old, 22-year-old centre back, 19-year-old right back. It's like we've got a very young defence. And used to in League One, you're used to seeing teams with more senior age, senior players, should I say, about not obviously 60 plus, but you get what I'm trying to say, right? People who've been in the league for years and years, and we haven't got that, and we still managed to pull results together.
Yeah, and don't forget as well, when teams are relegated, there's a big hangover from it, and it takes a while to get rid of that. Luton, I think, suffered with Plymouth. Definitely suffered it for a while. Like they was until Christmas, they were probably one of the worst teams I've seen. And then we didn't see the suffer from it. We came down. I think we got rid of most of the deadwood and a few others. It took a bit longer to get rid of certain other players, which now have gone, thankfully, in January. But I think we brought the right mentality in. I think that sort of freshened things up. Bringing players back. You've got Ryan Winters on loan in Millwall, and what did he comes back? He's got a point to prove, not just to himself, but to the fans as well. We've all said, it's gone for him now. After arguing with fans in the game and stuff, this is time done. He's got a point to prove when he's done it. Chambers, he's got a point to prove. He proves us all this year that he's a decent centre half. We all thought he should have gone in the summer last year after some of the performances. So many of them players have come down, and the mentality's been spot on, and I think that's something that the manager's got to get credit for identifying which players have the mentality. Like, we were all gutted to see Rolls go. Like, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
The motto, I thought last year was brilliant, but he's seen something there, thinking, I can get more out of this player for that. I can get more out of Joe Well than I can from Joe Rolls. I can get more out of, if I play my feet, I get more out of him than I can from the more. It's that, and it's a huge gamble. Because if he doesn't come off, then the first thing people say is, why did he get rid of Rolls? You would have asked him there. Why did he get rid of this player? So to be fair, the manager's taking the big gamble you have in some of the other players. Yeah. And again, rewarded for it because we got a fantastic youth coming through now. We got players out on loan as well who are doing really well. Mafiko's doing really well at Yeovil. He's loved down there. I mean, it's great to see. What a time to be a Cardiff fan. I mean, I know we're in League One, but come on.
Yeah, it's you can go the other tried and tested route, which most managers would. If you're looking, most managers with promotions under their belt, they go the tried and tested route. They know, it's very much old school style of like, this is what works. Just have people who can run tirelessly, who are, tall, strong centre back, no nonsense defenders. And if I had it my way, I probably would have that. Just two tall, strong but slow centre backs who are going to win at aerial duels. Let your full backs overlap and everything. Have a deep line number 6, and then the rest is more or less turns into like a 3-5-2 or whatever. And it's like most teams play 5 at the back. We play 4 at the back. There might be times where that formation changes slightly, but I don't know how many teams actually play 4 at the back in League One or even Championship. It's very much like you have your wing backs nowadays, and I think a lot of teams now, when they verse us, it's quite a privilege in a way to think that they're just going to, like, almost park the bus, some teams, because they know how dangerous we can be. And even then, we still manage to sort of penetrate through the defence a lot of times. So it shows how good we are. But obviously, I know next season, if we are in the Championship, I know I'm thinking ahead, we're going to be punished for our mistakes a lot more, and we're going to have to learn a lot faster. But that's why I think, as you said earlier, I'm kind of glad that our first season wasn't in the Championship in the state we were in, because there's a lot to change. And the first season as well, you can't be expecting that much if you're in the Championship. You're expecting another season of just trying to stay up really and rebuild, aren't you?
Yeah, and when you mentioned that, there were two big lumpers, a centre half and a six, right? I've had flashbacks of Aidan Flint and Sean Morrison together.
Yeah,
Malin Park's on the front of them, and just teams overrun us completely. So when we do play, right, because the way Wintle is, he drops deeper. So he sort of drops into a 5 at the back if needed, without really being a 5. He just shields it a bit better as a proper 6. But then when we go forward, with the overlap and the underlap for the full-backs, it becomes... it's like centre plays on the attack, then it is. And it's the counters where we get hit the most, and that's what a lot of League One managers have said this year, is the counter is where you get Cardiff. We probably won't be as... We probably won't be as far, going forward as much like that in the Championship. One or two players might stay a bit further back. The 6, like Winter, won't be as far forward. He will be staying back. Maybe one of the 8s will stay a bit further deeper, or not go as far as forward, or maybe one full back tucks in rather than goes forward. But again, I think of the Championship, there's going to be a summer now where he's going to probably want to get rid of 1 or 2 anyway, that he couldn't last season or the start this year because he couldn't get covering. Maybe he wants 1 or 2 gone and he's identified better players. Then it becomes a case then of momentum keeps you going in games. So it's exciting times. I just don't know what to expect in the Championship. So, yeah, of course, some teams will punish us. But I think more teams will play open football, which will allow us more time, more space on the attack as well. Whereas teams won't be sitting now with 10 men behind the ball like some teams do against us now. And the low block, I think we'll surprise a few teams next year, if I'm honest with you. I know a lot of fans, I see a lot of posts online. This team are not going to do well in the Championship. They bottom end the Championship. This team right now, in my opinion, would be mid-table, right, my opinion. And they've got a summer where you've got to strengthen as well. So, yeah, I just think it's next year, and we'll surprise a few teams, if I'm honest with you. And a few people I think will surprise.
He's sort of like seeing what he can get away with this season, isn't he? He's tried that with the keeper, no keeper on the bench again. Unfortunately, in League One, you only get 7 subs. And maybe when we have 9 subs in the Championship, if and when. I always have to keep disclaiming that because I don't want to get too ahead of myself. But I'm just that confident in the team right now and the culture that's being built. But, we'll have 9 subs in the Championship, on the bench. So... you'd think at least that he's putting a keeper on. Maybe he's just thinking he's going to get away with it. And look, he is taking a few gambles. He said earlier he's taking gambles, but a lot of managers wouldn't. And I think he's probably doing the opposite to what most managers do and finding out that is, what separates him is that he's willing to take risks and he's willing to get it wrong because then he knows. Because if he's not going to take the risk, he could be missing out on a massive, how many teams have you seen put no keeper on the bench? Almost like none of them, which to me I still find is absurd because if that keeper gets injured, sent off, but then you think about that, right? Is that if your main keeper gets sent off, for example, most teams by then tend to lose the game because you're down a man, you're going to probably take your striker off, aren't you? Or a winger off. It's like by then the game's there. So in some way, it's basically saying to Trot, there's no keeper on the bench, so make sure you don't go out doing anything stupid now, run out, miles at your box and try to tackle a player outside your box where it's guaranteed a red card. I remember seeing I think it was Liverpool versus Newcastle once, so that Pope just come running out like miles outside his box, just tackles his legs, completely misses it, no regard of where he is, if he's inside his box or not. And it's like those things, like you never see Trot come out and do that. Like he might come and get some loose ball sometimes, but he almost always stays very far back and, is a passing option. But like gambles like these as well, it's like, because it's League One, maybe he's probably thinking that. But in the Championship, I do think we'll see a lot more calculated risks as opposed to honestly, they're wild west right now, but you kind of get what I mean, right? We are, I look at some of the lineups sometimes thinking, oh, Christ, I wouldn't have done that. But then he wins 4-0, and it's like, you can't criticize it, can you?
To be fair, mind, it's an easy decision when you got Perry and G in the squad. You can risk him to keep on the bench because you can chuck him with goals. He'll still save the day. But
I was thinking him.
But yeah, he's a bit of a gamble on to keep him. I'm old school in the fact that I would always want to keep just in case the worst happens. I mean, I remember 2-3 years ago, I think Allsop, then Allwick were both sent off in the same game.
Crazy.
But I like to have the option of how to keep it there just in case. I'm just old school like that. I am worst case scenario. But Trott, for me, is first and foremost, Trott has got to be the one we got to keep. If we keep any player right now, it's probably Trott. Kellum has been fantastic for us, right? But I really do want to keep Trott. I think it's so hard to find a top keeper these days. Either super inconsistent, or they have the odd, for every 10 out of 10 performance, there's like 3 or 4 or 5 out of 10, some iffy ones. Trott's been consistent all year. Rarely has he put a foot wrong. He's kept us in so many games early on the season. That's got to be the number one target for me this summer. I don't care. If you have to spend the entire budget on someone, you get Trott. Because you get Trott, right? You can stay up in our league with Trott and goals and the rest of the team right now.
Yeah, you could bring a few more academy players up that they've had some time in the cup games and keep Trott.
Trott's got to be the one to keep.
I think the only game I'd probably say the poor game was the Lincoln game, really. But if I'm being honest, there weren't many players that had an amazing game there anyway. So I don't know. I say I'm out in him individually now, but that's the only sort of noticeable one. I thought oh Christ, he's had an off day there. But every player has that, and it's only that game that stood out to me. But oh, he had a poor game. There wasn't any other game that stood out to me. Even games where we conceded 3 goals. Was it against Doncaster? Oh no, Leighton Orient, I think we won 4-3 or something. But even those games, it's I don't always pin the blame on the keeper, because obviously they would have to go through the defence first. And I think as well, our defence has changed around so many times, it's unbelievable. And to think that even though every game is more or less a different centre-back partnership, and before, last season, that killed us. That's one of the reasons why we went down. Whereas now, it seems like it's one of the reasons why we're doing so well. It's because everyone's kept on their toes. They don't know what the defence partnership's going to be. So, it is pushing them. And look, I get it. People's anxieties about having 2 consistent centre-backs. And I think Fish and Lawler are those 2. But recently, you start to see Fish and Chambers put together, and then Lawler and Osho put together. Which is interesting now, is you seem to see those 2 sort of duos, and they're almost given a couple games each. Osho Chambers sometimes. I don't think it's the best partnership. I don't know what it is. They've had a couple of good games together, but I just get nervous when both of them are playing. Is it just me with Osho and Chambers?
I think it's because when he looks at so Osho's more. I say Osho's more of an old school centre half, win the headers, get stuck in, and Lawler's a ball carrying centre half, more modern centre half. I think when you have Fish and Chambers, then Chambers becomes the ball carrying centre half, and Osho becomes the old school sort of centre back. For me, it's got to be Fish and Lawler together. They're my perfect combo, I think. My only concern is Lawler seems to play, and then all of a sudden then he needs a week off because he's got a tweak, or he's got a strain, or he's got a pain. He can do 60 minutes a year. And I think if someone so young to be having such serious, having injuries, I guess, and problems, I guess.
Yeah.
I am not concerned, but I thinking, if he's not 100%, does he need a week or 2 off? If that's the case, give him the week or 2 off, then come back and be 100%.
Don't put him on the bench.
Yeah, don't keep giving him 60 minutes here and going, he felt something to go, there's a bit of soreness. Because you think he's just making things worse. But for me, it's going to be Fish and Lawler. But again, Chambers has stepped up to the mark this year. I mean, I cannot fault Chambers. He started the season in his same fashion as last year, and I was unconvinced. And then all of a sudden, he's quietly gone about his business, and he's easily become a top centre half for us.
He's got a deadly first touch, hasn't he? His ball control is insane.
Yeah, again, it could come down to a case of can we keep him because of the budget next year? It could become a case of if we get rid of him, we can bring 2 players in. If that's the case, you're juggling things about is it worth bringing 2 youngsters in to keep 1 player, or
It's a gamble, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
we've been screaming for this kind of centre back for seasons now, haven't we? About having who's the guy? Who was the guy towards the end of the season we were thinking of? Was it a guy from Norwich or I can't remember now? A Championship lad, aging centre back, around 30, 31 years old. I can't for life I can't remember. Hanley, is it Grant Hanley? Yeah. Yeah, so I was on the train of like Grant Hanley. Let's get him in because he was exactly what Chambers was, but Chambers wasn't showing it at the time. And I remember Simon making a video saying, but aren't you really just swapping out one senior centre back for another? And at the time I was thinking, but Hanley's at the moment he's probably half decent compared to what we had with Chambers. But now I'm like Chambers is almost like, crucial captain material for us now because when he's not on, you've got Captain Colwell, which I think is great. But if you haven't got Ruben Colwell, then who becomes captain after that? Is it going to be Wintle because he's done it once? I think. Is Joe Bagan going to be captain? It's like it's almost like there's no sort of set one captain. However, Chambers just has that experience and leadership qualities that cannot be replaced with and no disrespect to the likes of Ruben Colwell. It's going to be a different kind of vibe. I just think now with Chambers, he brings that calmness, a bit like with Ryan Wintle as well. Is that he's been putting in 7s, 8 out of 10s all season, if not more. I just find out when you don't have Chambers or Wintle, if neither of them in the starting lineup, I do get a little bit not worried, but you know what I mean, a bit on edge.
This is where you probably see, I reckon, the more experienced number 8 coming next year. I think a decent experienced number 8 will probably come in, but then. Talk about Chambers, right? Where I say he's a ball carrying centre half, and he is a bit, but he's not a runner, if that makes sense. He hasn't got the legs. He's not a pacey centre half. And I think you're looking at last year now, right? You had him and Gutas together. You think if the ball goes in over the top or in behind them two, neither of them again catching up. They're not. No offense, they're just not. It's not the game. And then if McGuinness, then it'd be McGuinness would be the other one if one of them two didn't play. And again, he's not a runner. The ball goes in behind him. It's the same when you had Flint and Morza together. They couldn't play together. You just couldn't. It would never work.
No.
Back in the day, you had Darren Purse or Glenn Ovans with Roger Johnson. You had a runner with an old school centre half. I think that one against Chambers, looking back now, probably that one against Chambers a lot last year with him on Gutas. Neither was a runner. He needed someone like Dylan Lawler or a Fish who is more mobile to play off of to make him look better because otherwise the ball in behind him, straight away you're blaming him because they just beat him for pace. So I think that's where we have to be wrong with last year. I think with the runners now, it does complement them a bit. But like someone said, the chap there, Stephen Morgan said there, I agree, next year we can't be swapping the defence every week. Because you need, in a championship, you need to get consistency. You need to get that run of games going. And you can't be looking at a player going, like, you two are playing this week, and next week we're going to pick them instead. We can't be doing that. So I think he will sit down in the summer, and I won't be surprised if he offloads one centre half or if we lose one centre half. Yeah. I would bring another youngster comes up to be that sort of fourth backup to the three main ones, if I'm honest.
The Sunoda role, is it? I like to call it. Guess you have to call it quick.
But yeah, I think there will be someone coming up next year now who's in and around the first team, who is sort of the fourth choice centre half in case something happens to one of the two starters, and then the third one has to play like.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's. To be fair, right? Do you think that, like, I know this sounds really arrogant, and don't think BBM probably thinks in this mindset, but do you think that to him, like, this season's almost like pre-season for him because it doesn't matter how well or poorly he does, it can't go too far wrong. So he's kind of like he's experimenting, seeing he's still finding out where his best 11 is, even after all this time. Do you think he knows by now because he changes the team sheet every match? And not like one change, it's like 2-3 changes or more. It's like, do you think he's just giving everyone a run, or do you think he's still experimenting to find his proper best centre-back partnership?
I think he knows his best 11, of course, but I think, like this year now, like we've had 46 league games. You got guaranteed 3 games in a virtual cup. Because, it's 3 games guaranteed in the virtual cup you've got to play. You get in the Carabao Cup first round, you're in the FA Cup first round. The amount of games goes up in this league because there's another competition. I think to avoid fatigue and any serious injury, he's rotating all the time to keep players fresh. and to keep others, because last year, right, let's be honest, last year, El Ghazi was on the bench, right? He'd come on and he looks way off it, and you could see he wasn't match fitness, he wasn't match ready. This could be after 4 months of being in the first team of the club. But by doing this, I think he's keeping everyone ready, and he's keeping up the level in training then. That goes up because everyone is match fit, everyone's match sharp, they're all pushing each other. I think he's doing that. And I think the best thing for me is promotion's fantastic, don't be wrong, right? But for years now, we've all been crying out for a manager to come in and build a philosophy and identity that we can all get behind. For years, we've been just, we lump it along or try hitting the counter, we sit back and hope not to concede and hit the counter. For years, it's been, I won't say it's not the most exciting football. It's been a hard watch the last few years of Cardiff. Yeah. We've all cried out for a manager to come in, and we've all said, even if it takes 3 or 4 years to implement a philosophy that we can all get behind, he's done it in 1. Like, that in itself is, Pep didn't come into our Man City and in the first season just absolutely tear it up. It took a bit of while to go in. Arteta and Arsenal took a while to get going. He's done this. I know it's League One and it's Cardiff, and it's easy to say, oh, well, it's not the same standard, but to go into any new club, rip up the foundations of the last 20 years, 30 years, let's be honest, implement a new philosophy, and it's gone from the first team down to the under-16s, all trying to play the same sort of football. This is why he's probably, for me, the best manager outside the Premier League for me. And people might laugh at that and say, others are doing better jobs, others in the Championship, whatever. He hasn't had a chance yet. Wait till he's in the Championship. Go give him the budget other managers have had in the Championship and stuff, and then see how he does.
It's good. He's got his free trial that expires at the end of the season, isn't it? And then he gets the big budget. It's like you get the free trial of whatever software or app you want to use first, see if it's any good, and that's kind of what Tan's doing, I guess. He's to be fair, he's given him a 3-year contract right off the bat, which is something you'd never see. So it's obviously he saw something at the start, way before BBM even stepped on the training ground, right? And obviously he had that level of confidence. So BBM must speak with some conviction, and he's backed up most of the stuff that he said. He's not been one of those managers that sort of come out and just said what everyone wants to hear, and then what happens in training doesn't match with what's on the field and everything. It seems like this season, with there's way more social media content. I mean, it was non-existent last year, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Players look like they're not having to force smiles, or to try and you have players who don't feel bad that they have to clap all around the stadium because the other team won't do it. And it looks like the manager and the players are actually engaged 24/7. It doesn't look, a lot of times the manager or some of the players just look so defeated before the first whistle, and that's just something you don't want to have to think, oh, I've got to play him now because he's on loan, even though he looks like he doesn't want to be here. It looks like he's almost possessed, because last season it did feel like we were playing loads of players who just did not want to be there, but we had to play them because they were under a certain contract. They had to play a certain amount of games. This season, it's like we've got such a small squad, but we're still thinking, oh, how is he going to fit into the squad? How are we going to give him game time? It's the complete polar opposite now. And I want to say quickly as well, because I want to move on to loads of comments, but one player for you who stood out for you today, you could say Colwell, but for me, it's got to be Kean Ashford, because tell you what, his dribbling is well improved. He used to take a really heavy touch all the time at the end, and he'd go out for a goal kick. He seems to fix that, or I don't know, but his dribbling is way better, and he can put a nice ball in the box as well.
I guess his work rate, again, it's the youngsters, isn't it? The work rate, the determination. I mean, previously when you see a player, bowler, for example, he'd try and beat this man on the outside, he'd get tackled. After that, he wouldn't go past him all game. He'd stop and pass back all the time. These youngsters now, they get tackled once or twice, lose the ball once or twice. The next 3 or 4 times, they're still trying to get past him. They're still going for it. The determination is absolutely brilliant. And again, it's the fearlessness in youngsters. And he's one of them. Fantastic again today. No,
I think, and give praise to loads of people, but I just thought Kean Ashford today, and he got an assist as well, didn't he? Yeah. He's just, to be fair, Tanner looked a lot better today as well. I think, again, it was only like a game or two that you sort of thing, but I wouldn't have, my sort of lineup, I would have started Willock and Ashford, because you kind of got a more technical player versus a kind of like a more rapid player. And then when you have, you sub on, then you can always sub on Tanner for extra pace when they got tired defenders. We really do miss Isaac Davis. I know we miss Salek as well, but I think just to bring off just lightning pace off the bench, and he's strong as well. I feel like that would just be even, that would be even more great for us in the worst terminology. But no, I just think like I love sort of like the idea of bringing on like, because Isaac Davis is like a super sub for us, where it's like he's like the Divock Origi of like Cardiff for me, because you know he's got goals inside of him, and same with Yusuf Salek. But Yusuf Salek is someone who you're going to start and give him like 70, 80 minutes, and if he doesn't score, you sub him off really. So Yusuf Salek's not someone I would sit on the bench, but one player I'm kind of surprised that we are still like start on the bench is Robinson, and he scored again today, and it shows. And there was a comment earlier on, I can't remember who said it, I think I'll find it now. Robertson's only played, there we go, Graham said it. Robertson apparently only played about like 12 games in total, and he's got like 9 goals, so like with the minutes he's had. I still don't understand what it takes for Robinson to start, do you?
It could be an injury thing. It could be the fact they're thinking maybe he's got a bit of impact coming off as a sub impact coming on later against a tight defence with his movement and stuff. Where they're not as switched on, they're a bit tired. I think, but then they look at the Kellerman and the false nine, and you can see why. I love Robinson. I absolutely love Callum Robinson, but
same.
You look at him in the false nine, and you're thinking, Robbo plays the false nine, but he plays deeper. He drops a lot deeper to pick the ball up. Whereas when Kellerman drops a bit deep, he's still the focal point to get the ball to. Whereas Robbo will drop deeper and he'll be behind the number 10 to get the ball, and he's trying to bring others into play. And I just think they're two different kind of false 10s in that regard. And I think it's working a bit more effective with Kellerman there. But again, he's a player who doesn't complain. He's not moaning all the time. He's not sulking. When someone comes off, he's the first one up checking him. When my feet going off early in the season, he was the first one over to checking him. The top mentality on it. That's leadership, especially through these last month or two of the season now, when you need calmer heads, you need experienced pros around the youngsters. That's exactly the kind of person you're looking to.
Yeah, he's everything you want to someone on like I say, like with my players and basketball coach. I said that it's all well and good the players on the court and everything, giving it all, but like the bench really carries everything. If your bench is silent or you don't see you getting the support, you get the support from the fans, fine. But like if your own teammates who are, with you on like every training session, if they're not really, gassing you up and supporting you on, it's like it's just that extra 20% you can give, and knowing that when you come off as well, it's not like you've been subbed off because you've been playing poorly. It's that you just want new fresh legs on. And before I felt like, especially last season, every sub had like a really deep-rooted meaning behind it. If you know what I mean, like if someone would come off, it's like, oh well, he's obviously played terrible. You know what I mean? And I don't get that impression this season. Subs have been made more tactically and to save fitness as well of players. And again, I know we chop and change it a lot as well, but I really kind of wanted Turnbull to start because I feel like he's got such a cannon on him outside the box. And look, Alex Robson did it today, and I hope more players do stuff like that as well. But we've been so reluctant to shoot, and it's so nice just to get some shots off where we have different ways of scoring. I mean, I think we scored more or less every type of goal today, apart from a set piece, I'm pretty sure, which is nice to see that we were versatile. Whereas before, we were just looking to pass it in the box all the time, and a bit frustrating, I will say.
But like we said with the subs there, right? I mean, how refreshing is it to know that when they come on, they want to help team and stuff. We used horror stories last year about certain bust-ups, certain things happening in the training ground, things happening in the dressing room, players who would try to be poison the card for others. Again, the horror stories that come at the club last year, I mean, some of the things I was hearing, disgusting, and you think they're the players you don't want anywhere near the first team in the club. And this is why a few were never with the first team from December onwards, because of certain things they were doing. This year, you don't do none of that. There's nothing like that. They're all together and training. They've got the youngsters training along with a lot of the first team now, and it's all smiles. It's all they help each other. They work again. It's just a different environment, isn't it? And winning helps that. But I also think having a manager that's probably got a great man management ability, which is all the best managers have the best man apart from Pep. All the best managers got the fantastic man management ability. And let's be honest, BBM seems he's got that because the players respecting him and giving it all for him. Like,
oh, I 100% agree. And £1,000 tier in Patreon if you want the all the secrets of Cardiff. Start joking.
That could be a member show. Actually, think about it. A member show just revealing all the shit that was told us last year.
It's a lot, right? I don't want to get into any allegations or any lawsuits or anything, right? Like we talk about a few stuff, and I know that me and Aaron maybe shouldn't have said his name, but anyway, we talked about a few things. But no, again, that's all behind us now. It's just so nice. And look, no one wishes on any of the club, but it just goes to show like having the healthy changing room and the culture. It's just it all starts with that, doesn't it? I mean, also obviously getting the right manager, but I don't often give credit to the board that often, but they got it right this time. Like they got the right manager, and clearly they were. They said they were impressed with him. Clearly, he had something that other managers just didn't have, or a different. I don't know what it was, different vibe, or it just maybe it's the way he spoke or everything. But he doesn't. BBM never gets to. He doesn't let the highest of highs affect him or the lowest of lows. He'll really gas up his players when they do what they ask of him, and I can see it sometimes when they get winning the ball back after losing it. I think Kapaku did it once against. I can't remember. I think it was Luton. It was. I think he was then playing. I just look at BBM's face lighting up as if he scored a goal because Kapaku lost the ball, but he ran and got it back off him. And it's like you don't never see managers celebrating stuff like that before. And yes, he will celebrate when we score, but it's just like crazy. All those little things he's really sort of given praise. I think we've gone through so many managers where praise was probably like a secondary thing. It's like it's so easy as a coach and myself to point out all the pessimistic or the things going wrong. And, because you want to fix what's broken. But I think he has a certain level of respect for the players as well, not just the respect for the manager. And again, I think probably Warnock was the last one, I think, who probably give a good beating out of them when they lose like to an easy team. But, I think it's just people management as well, isn't it? It's actually looking after the person, not just the player.
Yeah.
But
a quick plug as well. So if I haven't seen it, to watch Sai's interview with Homer Reza in his house.
Oh yeah.
Reza sort of let slip of something that happened. He sort of mentioned something that happened, and again, don't want to spill too much, but he sort of mentions and confirms one or two things. So if you want to watch that, check it out.
Was it like down to like player management? Is that the stuff I was talking about then? Like people.
It was certain players. He mentioned something about he didn't mention the player, but he did mention something that one of them did. And he said it wasn't really a big deal because he's been involved with things like Cardiff football. And I was thinking, yeah, but then we heard what happened afterwards. So,
right, I don't have to refresh my memory on that one, but yeah.
I'll tell you what when it ends, anyway.
Yes, yeah, that's fine. That's good. we're creating our own tier now, £1,000 tier. Make it happen, Si. No. Okay, stop that. Anyway, lads, I'm going to race through the comments now. I appreciate you being patient as well because we did start a bit late. So what I'm going to do now is just the last 5-10 minutes or so, I'm just going to race through comments. I've been hovering over Jonathan's comment for ages. I meant to bring up, but it's an absolute class comment, I have to say. Jonathan Mordecai says, I don't know what BBM thinks he's doing, getting these players playing pass and move. Didn't you know Bullet told the players who are not good enough to do it? I don't think it was just him, but like, how many times have you heard like, oh, the players aren't ready, the youngsters aren't ready, they aren't ready. And look, maybe you're right for some players, but these players look pretty ready. I don't know. I mean,
the last one who said it, Neil Warnock, when he said, I looked in the academy and none of them were ready, and they won't be ready for a few years. They're not good enough. That was his quote, and then a year later, Ruben Caldwell comes out.
Yeah, maybe it was just coincidental that time he broke into the team, but BBM sees something that doesn't.
Again, Warnock's like he likes his characters and his leaders. He knows what he likes, what he doesn't like. And let's be honest, if you're a youngster in the academy, it doesn't matter how good you are, you're probably not going to get game time under him. It's just nothing against Warnock. That's just the way he is, and that's how he's been successful. But we needed to change that to get the youngsters through.
I think the only player really, the youngster he took on was that Callum Patterson, and he was still about like 21 years old at the time then. And to be fair, he felt like the youngest signing ever, 21 years old, I think he was, or somewhere around there. It felt like
Did he win Young Player of the Year at 24 years old?
It was something like that, yeah. It was, but like to me, right, Callum Patterson, even though he looked like 28 at the time, he was probably like 21, 22 when he signed, I think. And he was such a breath of fresh air. He was such a bulky lad and playing right back. I remember him saying he couldn't defend, but he was an absolute like unit to the back. And he played everywhere. But he was like the youngest player I think we had. I think maybe apart from Jazz Richards or Kadeem Harris. That was like as young as we went really then, but now we're playing almost the kids. I mean, God, in a couple of years' time, might be playing our under 16s, But,
the scary thing is, though, right, is when in my age, and you start seeing people. But I remember watching like some Rooney make his debut, or will make the debut, and now they've all retired. God. That's when you know you're old, but is when the youngsters
have you retired, managers,
close to it. But when you're watching youngsters now managers and stuff, that's when you know you're getting on.
Oh yeah. I say, I want to also bring up Jonathan's comment here. Lincoln reminds me of us under Warnock. I definitely agree. In our promotion season, I don't think they slip up. We just stay ahead of Bolton. Yeah, look, we can always wish for the perfect dream of getting the title, but you can't complain if we get automatic. I mean, that was probably exceeding the goal. The main goal I think this season is just to get promoted by any means necessary. And you look at now with the championship next season, with supposedly 8 teams, can up to 8 teams have the chance of qualifying to get promoted. I mean, you can have just a decent season, you can get the playoffs. It's ridiculous, but I don't agree with it. But hey, money talks. But Lincoln just won't stop winning. Yeah, well, you don't know, but this is how it is at the moment, right? I mean, they might have a less experienced team shock them. Like, I mean, Christ, Plymouth shocked us, didn't they? 5-2. I mean, if it weren't for them, we might not be second, might be first still. 20 games unbeaten is unbelievable. I mean, yeah, they got at some points their form is going to dip a little bit, and whether it be this season, I don't know. But I would like to see Lincoln in the championship with us. I think they deserve it really, but it's also because their style of football is so ugly. I think it would be really good in the championship. Again, can you imagine Lincoln versus Tottenham? That'd be good, wouldn't it?
It's so nice. Like, if that's Lincoln go up and coming down was West Brom and Leicester, how nice would it be to see the Baggies in League One and Leicester in League One? I remember the West Brom game we lost to them last year, and it was I think it was the West Brom game was when I confirmed our relegation last year. And I remember leaving the stadium with the boys and West Brom fans taunting us, going down, waving about. Yeah. I would love it to see them get relegated right now. Just for that, I would love to see them get relegated when we go up.
Yeah, that'd be great. Well, whether it'll happen or not, who knows? But
the relegation zone, I think, last time I checked.
They're quite low down, aren't they? Yeah. I'll have a check in a second now, unless you find it. But Reese, Bob Bank has a very important question for you. Are you still dressing up as Horvath in his oversized glove when we get promoted?
I think the plan is we're all dressing up as fish, and one of us is going as a fisherman.
Oh, I was going to say Will Fish then.
No, it's not because what is the last few years have been really hard watches, right? And the bullet and stuff.
Right.
We've all been making like we got just fish jokes, and it's been the coincidence we signed Will Fish, but we were making fish jokes. Yeah. We were making fish puns regardless before he signed. So I suggest to the boys, if we get on the promotion game now, we'll all go as fish now, different fish, and someone goes as a fisherman.
That'd be great. Oh God, I want to see it. Hey, look, we even we saw the snorkels come out for the Rotherham game anyway, so could be. We still have them to play, don't we? Is that away or home? I think we got home. Was it?
No, we played Rotherham at home, and
of course we have. Yeah. We had that man set off, didn't we? And we thrashed them 3-0 anyway.
Wickham Tuesday, Blackpool. Then
we played Rotherham.
Peterborough away. Bolton home was early kick-off. Huddersfield away. I think then it's going to be the Port Vale rearranged game on a Tuesday night, the 21st. Then it's going to be Northampton Town on the Saturday, then Mansfield away, I believe.
Right, okay. So yeah, we've all played them, but I'm looking forward to playing Port Vale again, if I'm being honest.
Well, that's going to be a Tuesday night now. That means I think we've been lucky with that because they got the FA Cup the weekend of the Easter weekend. So where we play on a Friday and a Monday, now we're only playing the Monday, so it sort of gives us a little bit of breathing space and a bit of recovery. So but then we do have another Tuesday night game coming up. So, but it's I don't know. I just think when you've got Port Vale home on Tuesday, then Northampton on Saturday, the party feeling is building. Then let's be honest, I think that'll get us over the line. And hopefully we've done it before then. Hopefully we do the game, we win promotion, but.
We've played most of the big teams now twice, which is the great thing. It's like we've kind of like, I'm not saying it's going to be easy, smooth sailing now, but it's like the pressure is off a little bit compared to some of the teams. I think Bolton got like all the top teams to play towards the end of the season now. We got a bit lucky, I think, where we played a lot of big teams first. We played Luton and Plymouth. We got them they were back to back, I think. We got them out of the way quick. And I think that was probably the best case scenario because Plymouth were kind of still free fall at that point. And, we gave them another smack. But, and that Willock goal against Luton was a thing of beauty. And that's when we thought, okay, there's a player in Willock there. And that's when he started getting to form. But I think, getting those two matches, the two big games out early was crucial for us. Whereas I think if we were to play someone like Bolton or Huddersfield that early in the season, they probably would have beaten us just because they know the league a lot better. And, it was still new for us. But no, I think we have been nice a little bit in terms of our fixtures. Not all of them by any means, because we've had quite a few early kickoffs and whatnot. But it's I think we have in so much that we haven't had much luck in terms of the refs. We've kind of made up a little bit in the fixtures. And again, I say can't wait. Actually, I actually miss Championship referees now, which is a mad thing to say, because I don't think they're much better. But it's just slightly higher budget for broadcasting and reviewing things, I think.
More scrutiny on them as well now.
Well, exactly, yeah. There's more pressure on them to get the decision right. And look, I don't want to hurl on the refs or whatever, but like, Jesus Christ, the standards. Like, I thought Championship was bad. It is, yeah. We all know, don't we? But, Martin Ryan doesn't agree with me. Patterson couldn't trap a bag of cement. He was a useless footballer.
That's harsh. I think
that's very harsh.
Parton did a fantastic job for us.
He was good in the Premier League. He was playing up front for us. He was a right back playing striker, but he played
in the Championship. He was the link-up play for the wide men and for Kenza Ho up top, and he would chase again. You weren't going to have all technical abilities, but he just give us. He gave us something no one else could give us, and sometimes that's all you need as a footballer or as a team.
He didn't score like many fancy goals, but he scored goals for us, and you put him wherever. It was a bit like NG of like you can put him whenever on the pitch, and you knew he's going to give everything. But where was the comment I was going to bring up? I can't remember now. Ruben has the right coach for his development. He has appreciated his talent, as acknowledged. I'll forget about that. We'll summarise this quick now. But how many managers have we gone through where it just feels like they haven't given Ruben a proper chance? As soon as he gets a bit of form, they drop him. And now he's actually allowed to play in a bit more free roam role, as I was saying earlier about having the free roam role. Finally, he's getting this chance now, and he's actually playing way better. I just never understood why all these managers try to sort of discipline his positioning and trying to play here and there. And it's like, I don't know. Like again, it goes back to the manager saying the players are not ready, or whatever. I couldn't think of anyone else more ready than Ruben, really, because now you look at his younger brother Joel as well now, and he's just as good, if not better at times. I mean, again, different player. But it frustrates me the hell to think that so many managers have said, oh, this player's not ready, or, you just don't know the reason why they're not being played when, Ruben's like vice captain now, right?
Yeah, I agree. I think it comes a time as well, right, where you look at the players, they go in, things aren't going well, the first thing you do is you drop the youngsters. You drop the lone players and the youngsters, and you see it all the time in clubs. When things aren't doing too good, you just get your experience in there, because experience will get you over the line. That's the belief. And to be, some fairness for Bullet, right? Aaron Ramsey's best game for us was the Jacks at home doing a 2-0 win. And he gave Rambo a free roll 10, and Rambo ran the show that night. I mean, looking back at that game and watching Ramsey, he was a class of everyone else. And I think that's the kind of free roll I think he was open for. It wasn't a flair player. It was more of a number 10 who's maybe lost his yard of pace, but he still got it. But I think with BBM, he's someone who works well with youngsters. He's done a lot of youth coaching. He has a brand of football he wants to play, and Ruben suits that brand. And that's why you're seeing them get a run of games and stuff under him. And to be fair, playing the best football under him.
Yeah, it's something. Well, really, not much more to add on that. But I think it's just so many times we've had players who just had such a disciplined role, and some positions it works. I think like the no nonsense centre backs. I'm a big fan of that, having one sort of ball playing defender, one no nonsense centre back, old school kind of type, and it just works. And for defence, especially with a team like Lincoln, they're so disciplined in defence. They know exactly what to do, all running back in a straight line together, and they know it. But I think going forward, the man just sort of lets them a bit more of a free role because it's just counter-attacking, right? It's just getting players up the pitch.
Yeah.
It's not about getting players in position or overlapping. It's almost like his one sort of like game plan is just counter-attack. It has to be fast and get as many players forward as possible. Until then, all the tactics and all discipline goes in defence. I think it's actually really good because it's less mentally taxing. Because if you only have to focus on mainly half the game, in League One standards anyway, and then just complete free roam roles for everyone as they go forward, it's hard to counter that. It's hard for managers to prepare for that because it's like, okay, we know they're going to counter attack us, but every time is different. And I'm not saying we have to be a lot more free roam role, but even Kellyman, he does it a lot as well. Like having him in like a false nine thing. And BBM says apparently it's not a false nine, but I don't know what else you'd call it because, it's clearly work anyway, so whatever it is. But yeah, I just think, I come to this comment now saying about Chris Jones saying that I think we done well to get where we are, playing some great stuff all season. We have done enough to get to near enough get automatic promotion. The pressure's on Lincoln now. It's theirs to lose. And I can't agree more with that, really. I think it is theirs to lose now, and I think they'll still go up. But do you feel like maybe the pressure's a little bit off us now because we still got a bit of a gap between Bolton, or do you think there's more pressure now to get back to first?
No, I don't think the pressure's on us in that regard. I think the pressure was on today simply because the talk was, they didn't perform against Lincoln, they lost that. They didn't perform against Barnsley, they drew 1-1. Barnsley, Bolton came back from 2-0 down trying to pick a point up, and Lincoln won again. And the pressure's probably on us today more because teams are going to go, other teams are picking up points. It's up to them now, and they're doing so good, And then I think if even the youngsters, they might be fearless, but still, that we spoke to Matthew Conley before, and he said, a first promotion, you're thinking, geez, the team's not just won. We've got to go and do one again today now. And every time a pass goes astray, you're thinking, oh, Jesus Christ, it's not my day. So to be fair to them, I think the pressure was on saying they came out on top.
Yeah.
And again, I think it's back now to Tuesday night now. Everyone's playing the same time as us. Let's just go out there, do our job. We're at home. And I think the pressure comes off then a bit. I think the pressure will be on Lincoln because, again, it's a case of, oh, my God, we're close to getting promoted to the Championship. We can't let it slip up now. If we slip up, and then that builds up. And it's also, complacency might slip in. You don't know. But then one loss might go, right, we got to stop now. We can't lose more than this now. And then all of a sudden, a second loss creeps in and then panic sets in. You don't know in football, anything can happen.
What you fear, you attract, isn't it? It's the saying.
Yeah.
Like, if you fear, you attract it. And I think we feared it all last season of getting relegated. And we just kept going on these unbeaten runs of loads of draws. I'll never not meme on that now, getting all these unbeaten runs and we get relegated. Whereas Lincoln unbeaten run and almost getting promoted. I will just wrap up now because we went a fair bit over time, but just because of the delay. Apparently, right now, Jonathan says Oxford, Leicester. Wait, what? No, wait, hang on a second.
Yeah,
oh my God, Leicester the 23rd. What the hell?
They lost today, I believe, didn't they? They were 1-0 up and they lost 3-1.
Rangers 3-1. Yeah. Jeez, I didn't know that. I put in my table like Leicester finished like 10th or 11th or something. I did not think they'd be relegation. Oh my God. Who's in charge now then? They had that Van Nistelrooy, but then he was obviously sacked. I don't know what he's on now. Oh man, that's crazy.
West Brom is a difficult one, mind. I was hoping West Brom would go down. Like I really do want to go down.
Clear. There's plenty of time. I mean, to be fair, Sheffield Wednesday are relegated now, but they relegated a while ago, I think. But 38, 39, and 40 points for Leicester, Oxford, and West Brom. So there's still plenty of time. And just to remind some Oxford fans, they predicted they were going to get promoted this season, and I just laughed at them before the season started. I'm sorry. But the Huddersfield game planning is going to be rearranged, and even Sue's as well. Can't wait to sing now. The Blues are going up. They said Robert Earnshaw couldn't trap the ball. Yeah, I said that. Should BBM keep the centre-back pair from today over the next few games? Osho and Lawler. What do you reckon?
I don't think he will. I think it'll be Fish and Chambers on Tuesday.
Yeah.
I think, especially because we've seen Onyedimna, is that his name? I can't say his name.
Yeah, Onyedimna.
He sort of give us problems at the opposite of fixture. I think he might go Fish and Chambers to try and bully him a bit more, because he was trying to bully our defenders and win the free kicks. And I think if we stand him up a bit more, I think it'll be Chambers and Fish, I think, on Tuesday.
Yeah, it's a fairly safe partnership, isn't it? I think, I don't know, you want to kind of stick, because obviously consistency and everything, but I think you can kind of sort of maybe write off the season because of how well it's going right now. And it's like, we continue to rotate, but like you said earlier in the championship, we can't be doing that. I think it's just a big risk, isn't it? And I think at least one of the centre backs will probably go, and I doubt it's going to be Osho being the one that goes, if any do. You're probably looking Chambers or Lawler. I don't think any of us will go for Fish, but who knows? I don't know. Maybe we'll keep all four.
I'm always surprised if it was a for Osho, right? Because a lot of teams coming into the championship might be looking for that sort of old school centre half who plays a bit deeper. He's used to playing a deeper line rather than further forward. He's been decent for us the last few weeks. I do think he might. Again, he could go, but I'd be landed to keep Fish if I'm honest. I think Fish is a quality centre half. I'd be delighted to keep him.
Well, Osho's got, by the end of the season, Osho will have 3 years left in his contract, so it's going to be a fairly, it's whether people want to come in and pay that, because we paid a good chunk for him, I think. But I think he's here for long term, because BBM obviously wanted him in. So,
yeah.
But we can only predict, can't we? Let's go to the last couple of comments. I always keep saying that, but I just keep seeing more that I want to get through. Watching Man City Pep in the stands on his phone, giving instructions, sending managers off is really pointless. Wait, did I read that right? The stands on his phone.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know what to make it on.
So basically, just texting the manager and stuff. Put this player on, tell him to do this. And again, it is pointless. You see him now with the walkie-talkies, and they put a message to someone, and then release the message to the manager. I'm thinking, again, the message is going to be, what's going to be said. They're going to put their phone on loudspeaker in the change room, and the message is going to be, do this, this, and this. So it's pointless.
Oh, here we are. Adam Butler, very appreciate you tuning in to the channel. It's a great result for you. They were decent second half versus Lincoln the week. You'll be promoted with us, Lincoln. I think so too. And hopefully we get a title. But either way, I want to see you in the championship, because I just think it'd be great to see. Anyway, it's a completely different style. It has that Warnock feel, like someone said earlier, doesn't it? In Lincoln's side, it's just kind of like a little bit of hoofball, but very disciplined at the back. And you don't see many of those teams nowadays, really. Only really the likes of Millwall that were kind of like always known for that. But not many teams nowadays go that kind of old school route, do they?
Well, to be fair, I remember them a couple of years ago. They were non-league, and the Cowley brothers came in, and they just took them up. They went on a cup run, fantastic cup runs into League One. Did a fantastic job, and again, to see it shows the rest of the football world, really, doesn't it? That you don't need Wrexham's money and millions to spend to get the championship. You don't need to spend silly money and to buy away the leagues, which is probably an unfair comment, but that's what they've sort of done. You can look at Lincoln, who've gone about it the right way, recruited well year after year to get there. So,
yeah, So, guys, I'm going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much for so many comments, all the interaction. Really appreciate it. And thanks for being with us. Only a couple minutes late, but just wanted to sort of extend the time a little bit then. And honestly, if you're not already a member, please do become one, because for the price of a cup of coffee, if not less, every single month, you can become a member where you get exclusive access to live shows. We do one every single week. It's usually... Was it usually Mondays, or sometimes it's different days, isn't it, on the member show?
It's usually Mondays, but if there's a problem, they normally move it to the week to do.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's always people on every single week for exclusive shows for that. Also, with tickets to live events we have, which do happen usually a couple times a year, They do sell out really fast now, which is insane. But if you do become a member, you do get early access, stuff like that. You can literally see it going across the bottom of the screen now. And yeah, for all more, drawing through where the barcode's here, anyway. So I don't know which corner is going to be in there. It's there for me, but it's probably there. If you're watching vertical, probably up there.
I think the next live show, there should have been a live show this month. I think the guest had to postpone it, I believe. Do
event,
something. Sorry?
The live event or
live event? Live event.
Yeah.
The guest had to postpone it. So I think Sai's hoping to get a book for May, I believe now. But it's going to be one where tickets will sell really fast. So
I'll have to try and book off that day. I want to try and get that event because I haven't been to one yet. I've already met some people so far in the stadium and elsewhere, but I'm yet to show a face. So
they're fantastic nights. And again, if anyone's worried about going on your own, don't panic. Go there. Everyone's the same. And we always have a members table sort of thing where people just come and join us, sit with us. We've met so many of the guys just come sit with us. So
Conor McGregor walking together practicing. No, I don't drink either as well, so I'll just happily drive there. Probably go like some of the time. But yeah, honestly, exciting stuff. And now you've got me wanting to book the event. And there's not even one going yet. Anyway, thanks so much for tuning in. Hopefully in May, we'll see. Don't set your clocks to it just yet. Thank you guys for joining. Reese, as always, it's a pleasure. Thank you for joining me tonight. And yeah, we'll see you all in the next one. See you soon.
This channel is powered by an incredible membership community on Cardiff City World and patreon.com/AcePodcastNation. Becoming a member unlocks exclusive rewards from early access to live event tickets, bonus content, and even the occasional inside transfer scoop when we get it. But more importantly, it allows us to bring you top quality Cardiff City content 7 days a week. Across those 7 days, we're talking match previews, exclusive interviews, instant match reactions, the breakdown podcast, tactical deep dives, the spotlight series, Bluebirds Rewind, Academy Focus, and just so much more. Led by myself, backed by an army of passionate Cardiff City fans, this is content created by fans for fans. Balanced, professional, and 100% all about the club we all love. If you enjoy what we do, then join the community today and support what we are doing as we help to keep Cardiff City World flying high.